Okay.
They said happiness is a choice.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. I agree for the most part. Obviously, we have incidences that we can't, circumstances we can't control. Like you lose something. Maybe you lose the loved one, or something like that with not necessarily within your control. So that obviously hits you hard, and for a certain period you have emotions that are sad. But for the most part, um, we are in control of our happiness for
Hmm.
the most part. Yeah.
I don't. For me personally, I don't really agree with that because the reason is, you know, happiness to me is an impulse, and
Hmm.
an impulse is something. One the major characteristic of an impulse is that you don't have the control of the trigger. So
Hmm.
whatever will trigger happiness or sadness, we don't have control over it. So if you don't have control over the trigger, how will you have control over the emotions? That's my problem there.
Okay, we have to break it down. We have to look at first the impulse. Like I said, for the most part, you can't really control, but I'm sorry, for some parts, a few times you can't control, but for the most part, you can. According to studies, the impulse or the impact of the impulse lasts for 90 seconds,
Okay.
right? It takes 90 seconds for you to feel the impact and it goes through your system. But what we do as human beings is we replay that trigger, right?
Mm.
Let's say, for instance, you lose a job, you lose your job, right? Obviously, it's going to last a long time. You probably feel it until you get another job or whatever. But you now have a choice to dwell on the job you lost
Mm-hmm.
or to start looking for another one.
Okay.
You can say, oh, I like my office. Oh my gosh, my colleagues. Oh, my boss, so he didn't like me the whole time. All those things. So those thoughts continue to trigger the impulses that you feel. Because every time you think of one, it lasts 90 seconds. Another time, it lasts another 90 seconds. We replay, 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 replay. Maybe you maybe you lose a relationship, and then you're sitting down and they're thinking about all the times that maybe the person was deceiving you, or the times that, oh, they had a good time, we had this, we had that. So all those things keep triggering the impulse you feel, right?
Yeah.
So we replay those things different ways, right? Until and then we spend so much time in it, and we now calculate all those time we've spent angry and think it's just one thing, right? That impulse, according to statistics, just lasts, according to research, just lasts for less than 2 minutes.
Mm.
So it's up to us. That's the choice, to keep dwelling on it or to move on to something else.
No, but it, the problem is we don't have control over the dwelling. That's the key.
We do have
I get what
we
you
do
said.
have control.
I
We
get what
do
you
have
said that
control.
you keep dwelling on the issue, but
We
is we don't really, because that dwelling is a trigger, and
Yeah,
that
but
trigger we don't have control over. That's my argument.
the choice is the dwelling.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
what
choice.
that dwelling is
Yeah,
what we don't
but
have control over. It's
we do.
how,
We
because
do.
that's the key.
We do. Let me say, as a kid, the things that make you happy are the things that are given to you,
Hmm.
right? Let's just start from the top. So the things that, oh, my dad gave me this, I'm so happy, right? You as a parent, if you want your kid to be happy, you know the things they want and you give it to them, right?
Hmm.
And it makes them feel good, right? Sometimes they do something you don't like and you take something from them and it makes them feel bad as a
Hmm.
kid. But when you become an adult, the give and take is not for your parents, it's now up to you.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? If
Yeah.
you want to feel good, you get something good for yourself. If you want to feel bad, maybe you lose something, or you get into a situation whereby you feel there's something that you need that you can't get, right? So that now brings the happiness or the sadness. Like I said initially, there are things you can't control, right? But what you can control is your thoughts, what you dwell on. If I want an Aston Martin, I can be frustrated every day I'm not driving an Aston Martin. If I get into my car, no matter what car I'm driving, if it's not an Aston Martin, I'll be like, shit, I can't wait to throw away this car, and get the car I want, right? Or I can enjoy the car I'm in and look at the good things in the car and say, you know what? Every time I drive past somebody trekking, especially in the rain, I'm like, thank God I have a car. That would have been me.
Mm.
That's one way to look at it. Just being grateful for what you have. Another way as well is I want an Aston Martin, right? I now think about how to get an Aston Martin and focus on the things so that I can start working towards getting an Aston Martin, which doesn't necessarily mean that I will delay my happiness until the Aston Martin comes, because the stages will be, oh, I need to start making a certain kind of amount every day so that in the next 1 year or 2 years, I can afford to buy the car, right? But if for me to get to that point, then I now start to say, okay, what am I doing towards getting to that lifestyle where I can afford it? And if I say every day I have to read 50 pages of this course so that in a year's time I can get a job, so that by the next year I can start earning that amount. So if every day I read 50 pages, that's my Aston Martin I'm getting. And I feel good about myself because I am working towards. It's like when you go to the gym, you don't delay your happiness until you get the six pack. You're happy every time you're coming out of the gym and like, damn, if I continue like this, there's no way I won't get my six pack by 2 years' time. That's how you feel, isn't it? So when you start to understand how to control your feelings,
That
that's
is
the
the
choice
problem
here.
there. That's
But
the
that's the
problem for
choice.
me. That
Mm-hmm.
is the problem for me. The problem for me is trying to control the feeling.
Yeah,
For
but but
me, that is
mm,
not real. I
yeah,
will, I will, I
but
will,
why is
I
it not
will,
real?
yeah, I will explain.
Mhm.
You see, when you are sad, you are sad. For my own
But
understanding,
but
from
there's
my
a
own
reason.
understanding, from my
Mm-hmm.
own understanding,
Mm-hmm.
sadness
Mm,
and being happy
mm.
is a part and parcel of life. And trying to control it is the problem. It's even deeper than what we are talking about here.
No, no,
Because
no.
when you are not happy, it's okay. Trying to stop yourself not being happy is a problem for
No,
me.
but
For me personally.
the choice is still, like I said, the triggering only lasts for less than 2 minutes. The choice is to stay in it. You get what I mean? Like
But that's what I'm
something
saying. Choosing,
happened.
making that
You,
choice is someone telling you that he has made the choice not to be sad. It's not real for me.
yeah,
It's,
you
it's
can
only
make it.
time. It's only time that can take away that emotion.
No,
It's
so no,
impossible for someone to. For me personally, I
yeah, but it's
believe that
time.
it's not impossible. It's impossible for someone to wake up in the morning and say, "Okay, I'm not sad anymore. I'm happy now." Is
No,
that's not
no,
real? If
no.
somebody, I don't believe that is real.
No, no. The thing is, first we have to understand what sadness is. You have to understand that something has happened that has made you sad,
Yeah,
right? And like I said, the first thing you have to also understand is what the impulse is, how it affects you.
yeah.
And then the choice is, do I let it continue to affect me? That's the choice. So if you know that this impulse lasts for 2 minutes, then why drag it for an hour? You get what I mean? It's one thing now, like I've told you, I don't think you knew before that the impulse lasts generally for 90 seconds, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
you keep
okay.
replaying it, but you keep replaying it. And that's what people don't understand that the choice is, right? So if you are now intentional about the things you think about, right? And focusing on the things that will make you happy and how you can achieve it, then there's no time to start replaying the things that make you sad, to keep you sad.
Yeah, you can take actions to get yourself out of the situation,
Yeah,
but the emotion is still there.
but for you to take
I have
action,
seen people trying to get over things. They
let
are
me
doing a lot, but if you
let
look
me
at them, you still know that this person is trying to get out of something, but they are
no,
still not happy.
but they are still playing it. I agree with you to an extent. I agree that our thoughts wander
Yeah,
because
it's impossible to control.
no, it's not like it's impossible. It's possible to control, and I will explain. First thing, we have to understand that our thoughts wander. Research has shown that most of the times we can't focus focus for only about 55, average about 55, between 53 and 55% of the time. That's when we can keep our focus. If I say look at a wall for a minute, when it gets to 35 seconds, our minds drift off. All right.
Yeah.
But if I say touch this wall for 5 minutes, you can touch it. So what that means is if we think about what will make us happy, we have to start doing something because we can hold on to the doing, but we can't hold on to the thinking,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But when we continue to do, then our focus continues to improve or increase on what we are doing, if that makes sense, right?
Okay.
If you are just sitting down to think, your mind will start flying all over the place. But when you are doing something, your mind tends to narrow down to what you are doing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So that is why I say it's a choice because if I say, okay, I want to be happy, I cannot sit down and just say, I want to be happy. I start thinking about good things. No, 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 no. That's why I use the instance of the car. I now start focusing on the things I need to do to get to the point I want to go that will give me the ultimate gratification. And then the gratification comes with every step that I take towards that goal. Excuse me. So I'm not going to just dwell on my thoughts because I know I cannot control them. But for me to control my thoughts, I have to invest it in what I will be doing. People are sad most of the times when they are sitting down, wondering, thinking. That's why I say we keep replaying the things that give us that impulse. How
Mm-hmm.
do we control that? We have to invest our thoughts in the things that will do to take us to where we want to go, right? I
Okay.
want to buy a house. Oh, I want to buy a house. Everybody around me has a house. I'm just sitting down there in my in my studio, whatever, and just that. What will I be thinking about? Half of the time I might be thinking about the house I want to buy. Half of the time I'll be thinking about all the broke people I used to know that now have houses, right? And that'll be making me sad half the time, right? And then I won't even be happy half the time because half the time I'm just thinking about the house. Then a few times I'm just thinking about what I need to do, right? But what if I don't have time to sit around and I say, okay, to buy a house is about 400,000 pounds. I need to figure out how to earn that money, right? With every day I earn £1,000, how will I feel? Good. You get what I mean? That's the
Okay.
choice. The choice is understanding what you need to do and doing it, right?
Okay.
So if we invest our thoughts in that direction, towards that direction, then we have less to ponder on sadness.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
I
So
get. I
that's
get
what I'm
you.
saying.
But what is wrong in being in that moment, being sad?
There's nothing wrong. I never said there's
Because
anything wrong.
that's another thing.
And
People are saying happiness is a choice, as if sadness is a problem.
the problem
Because
is
what we are saying now is trying to be happy, trying
mm,
to make ourselves happy, trying to get ourselves out of the sadness have driven a lot of people into different difficult situations. Some people become drug addicts, some people become alcoholic, trying to get away pain, forgetting that
it,
pain is part and parcel of life. So what's wrong with us when you are angry, when you are sad? You stay in that mood and try to live it, try to live with it.
the
What's wrong with
problem
that?
for the I don't think there's a problem being sad, right? But life is not about sadness. Life is about getting away from sadness, right? The motivation you have, let's say, for instance, as a man, maybe you're a man with, let's say there's a man with a family, right? And kids. The one thing that will make him sad will be if he cannot take care of his family. The one thing that will make him happy will be if everybody around him is happy. So why will you think he should be satisfied just being sad? You get what I mean? There will be
Mhm.
things that will make him sad, but he cannot afford to stay sad. Okay? The instant gratification in just trying to be happy is a problem with anything. If you want to lose weight immediately or you want to get rich immediately, anything that will just be quick is a problem because it will come with a lot of problems, right? But you cannot stay sad.
Mhm.
Feeling sad, well, something's happened, so you are ultimately sad. I did a bad business deal. I'm sad. Okay, how do I avoid this next time? and how do I get into that position again so that I'll make a better decision. You know, that's where you want to be. That's where life is. Oh, yesterday I was a boy, now I'm a man, right? So you cannot dwell in sadness, but obviously sadness will happen at some point, you know, because is it Murphy's law or whatever? Is it that is it that you're in a problem, or you're about to enter a problem, or you're just leaving a problem? There's always something,
Yeah.
around that will make you sad. But to stay sad, for me, is the issue. You cannot stay sad because that's gonna deter you in many instances, and it's gonna affect the people around you. It's not a state that we thrive to be in, right? So we cannot focus on dwelling there. If
Yeah.
I'm
No.
sad because I cannot do something, that should be a motivation for me to find ways to do it. Not necessarily just saying, okay, it's okay to be sad. No, 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 no. I have to understand sadness. Something has happened. I also have to understand how to get out of sadness. I also have to understand what sadness is about, how it feels me. Okay? Like I said earlier, if I keep looking at this problem from all the directions, then I'm going to spend the whole day being sad. It's happened, it's happened. What are the lessons? I take them. And
You
what
know why
are
I
the
asked that
actions that
question? You know why I asked that question? They said that, and it's true. They said that time takes away sadness.
of course,
So
time takes away everything.
yeah, that's why I asked that question. If
Yeah.
time will take away the emotions,
Mm.
why struggle to get out of it?
Yeah, why
Because
won't you
the reason why
struggle to
another reason why I'm asking the question is
uh,
because sadness is what gives value to happiness. So
it depends on your action.
if there's no sadness, when
Mm.
happiness comes, you will not value it.
Yeah, but
So
that
my question
but like
is why should someone try and try to get away from sadness when we know that time will take it away?
okay, if you say time, let's start from the top. If you say time takes away sadness, it's not just time that takes away sadness, it's what you do in that time that takes
Mm,
away the sadness,
okay.
right? If you are sad and you decide not to do anything, time will pass and you still be sad.
Mm,
All right. So it's not just time taking away the sadness, it's what you do in that time that takes away the sadness.
mm,
Okay. So that being said, we don't have to stay sad. It's happened, it's happened. We have to keep it moving. Right? We'll have to keep it moving. If not, we're going to waste time, which is not something anybody should strive for. So if we're sad, it's a lesson we need to learn. And we have to keep moving so that we don't spend 3 times the amount of time we should have spent being happy, being sad.
mm.
Right? You sit down two people have lost their job, and one person is mourning the job he lost. The other person the next day I start putting his CVs out. What's gonna happen? That guy's gonna get another job in 2 weeks' time, and this guy might spend 2 months without a job. And every day a bill comes, it replaces the sadness. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that guy has found a solution, and it's in another, that that's the difference, in my opinion. And that's the choice. That guy has made the choice, like, I can't be jobless. While the other guy is saying, oh man, this can't happen. What if I get another job and I lose it? Now he's replaying that sad thought because he's lost one job. He's replaying it. I can't get a job, I lose it. Oh, the interviewer was his tone was like this. I should have known, oh, that person was looking at me in a certain way. No wonder they already knew I was gonna be fired, all that kind of stuff. There's no time for that. The other guys looked at it and said, oh, maybe they expected me to do this. I didn't do it. If I have a job next time, there's no way I'll be lacking. So he's on to the next job. Why this guy is still mourning and looking for people that will cry with him over that, you know, it's pointless, So that's why every time we thrive to be in that state instead of dwelling on in the other state, especially when it's things that we can't control. If it's something that we can't control, why don't we start doing something about it?
Mm.
And most of the time, like I said, as kids, we depend on other people for happiness. Even to an extent, kids too, when they know that their parents won't give them anything, they go and look for something that they can play with and that will give them joy. Even kids don't want to dwell in on happiness. They are moving on from it quickly, right? Oh, that didn't give me my toy gun. You know what? I'm going to look for a pen or pencil and use it as a gun. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait for daddy to give me that,
Mm.
right? But us as adults, we just like to feel sorry and sad for ourselves instead of moving on to things that will give us the gratification that we want, you know. And understand, most of the time is understanding because people don't really know. Something happens and they think, oh, to shake it off, I just have to wait for time to pass. No, 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 no. If you don't do something in that time, tomorrow you are still going to be in the same place. You know, if I'm sitting down and saying, "Hey man, I know I need to lose weight. I just know I need to lose weight. God, can you help me?" Meanwhile, people are waking up 5 a.m. going to the gym and pushing. People are changing their diet, and I'm just here feeling sorry for myself. And next time I'm looking like, damn, me and this guy were doing the same thing last 3 months. What's happening? And the guy was like, "Oh man, for the last 2 months I've been going to the gym at least 3 times a week." In that time, that guy has done something. But in that time, you have just been thinking about all the weights that you have. I mean, when you're thinking like that, bad thoughts will start happening. Man, it's just wait. There's nothing wrong with me. Man, let me just eat my cookies. I beg. We all die at the same time. After all, if I lose weight, this guy lose weight, he gains weight. The other time, somebody like I was listening to what's his name? Les Brown. I don't know if you listen to this guy sometimes. I think Les Brown or something like that. It's one speaker like that. And there was a joke he had one time. He said, people were asking, "Oh, lose weight, don't lose weight." It's like I was watching the TV the other time. A car hit this guy, and the guy died. If he had a little bit of weight, he would have survived. We start to look for reasons to
Reasons,
make
yeah.
us stay in our sad situation instead of doing something about it. And you know what? When you look for a reason, you will find it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? When you look for a reason, you'll find it. I I don't know why he broke up with me. Well, it's not going to be good for him. I was even helping himself. He didn't know what I was helping, but you are feeling bad. He's moved on, right? Yeah, just there. Yeah, looking for reasons why. Ah, God, in next month's time, you see, he will come and beg me. Next month pass, next 2 months not pass. Yeah, there, yeah, still going through it. Ah, God, I should have given him that £200 that I used to go to travel for that job that I went to do. 9 years, got the job. He thinks he's somebody. All those kind of things. All we're doing is we're replaying the sadness and giving us triggering us in different ways and making us stay in that same state. Another person will have looked at it and said, I mean, I shouldn't have been arguing with him too much. I shouldn't have talked down on him, because I knew when he didn't have money, now he has something. I should have respected him a little bit. Maybe I should ask him what really he was angry about. Maybe I should, so that next time when I'm in that position, I don't lose it. Or even when I talk to him in a nice way, he might even reconsider, that kind of thing. You now start using the time to do something about it, so that you don't stay in that position. And I think that's the choice in staying
Mm.
happy or sad, because sadness is just something that's triggered us to make us feel this certain kind of impulse. Like you said, is a feeling, but we to an extent, we can't control how we feel about things, but we can control most of the times what we do. What we do is
Mm.
based on what we think. But if we take actions, then we can sustain our thoughts. If we don't take actions, then our thoughts will start going everywhere. So if we have something that, we all want to have more money, but many people sit down thinking, other people go and look for the money, right? So the people that look for it end up getting it quicker than people that sit down to think about it. It's the same way with feelings. I want to feel good. No, you have to do something that will make you feel good because it's an impulse from gratification. As a kid, they give you, you feel good, but as adults, you earn, you feel good, right? So
Mm.
so that's why I say it's a choice. Many people don't necessarily make that choice. They expose themselves to things that keep them sad. right? Every day I'm watching people having accident, people are being killed, people are being robbed. How am I gonna feel? I'm gonna feel unsafe because I'll be thinking every day it can be me, it can be me, it can be me. But this other guy is thinking, man, he just watched a video on how somebody just invested in an upcoming bank and next in 3 months time, wow, doubled. Man, he starts looking around for banks that are just coming up to see if he can have some change. He's excited, so all those kind of things. So that's why I say we can control with our states. There are some things, some we can be hit, but we can stay down, right? We can be hit and use that as motivation to go up, right? Is That's the choice we have to make. We don't have to stay sad or angry. It happens. We always find ourselves in situations whereby it's made us down, right? But we have the choice to now stay down or start moving up. And
Mm.
as human beings, that's what that's what we're here for. We're looking for ways to keep us up. The interpretation of that is another, people want instant gratification, people want this, people want that. But also that still comes down to choice. But we make better choices if we know better, right?
Okay.
We start from knowing. Like I said, if it's you know that you get the impulse for 90 seconds. I didn't know that. Now I know that, right? So, oh, this thing has happened to me. The 90 seconds can go on to a day if I keep replaying it. So, but I can't control my thoughts. So if I have free time, I might end up replaying it.
Mm.
So what am I now gonna do to start taking my mind away from it?
Mm.
So that's why I said, that's the thought. Or I'm doing this thing now, after 2 years, 3 years, it's going to give me a bad result, right? And then it's going to make me sad. That's the cycle. Okay, why don't I do, even if it's small, small things that are positive, so that I can get sustainable happiness, right? Because some people are more sad than other people, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to be so sad all the time. We want to, but many people will just say, you know what, it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna be sad. Da, 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 da. That's how some people talk. I'm like, okay, good for you. With me, if there's this hole that's going to make me sad, let me try and patch it up. They say stitching time saves nine. So instead of me to wait for something bad to happen and then I deal with this consequence, I can put a little bit more effort here so that I can sustain this happiness for a little bit longer. So all those are the choices that we can make us happier, to make us stay happy, to make us sad less, you know, than just waiting for things to happen and having to react to it.
Mm.
And I think that's what most people do.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting because I was thinking about it because the way I was looking at it, I was looking at it as if someone would just wake up and change his mind. But from what you say now is you're talking about taking actions. So you forget about how you feel and do things that will get you out of how you feel. Yeah, because
Yes.
but when people say it's a choice, people think that they'll just wake up in the morning and then beat their chest and their emotions will change. And that is
Yeah.
not that's I get you now.
So it's
Thank
a
you
choice.
very
Yeah, it's a choice because I'll say this as well. Um, how we deal with people affects how they deal with us,
yeah.
right? So we have a choice to learn how to deal with people to get better results. We have to learn how to do the things that make us happy and stay happy. We have to learn all those things. We don't just wait for things to happen and just say, you know what, life happened. You hear that all the time. Life happened. But then again, my life cannot just happen, right? I'm in control of my life.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point I'm trying to make.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation there. What I get from that conversation is that when they say happiness is a choice, it doesn't mean that you can just wake up and choose how you feel. No, we don't have the power to change our emotions. But what they are saying is that you can actually take some actions that will, in time, take away that pain that you are feeling. So the core message there is that there is no quick fix, but you can make a choice to take some actions that will help you get rid of that pain. Alcohol will not do that for you, drugs will not do that for you. But making that decision, making that choice to take that positive steps that will make you in time get rid of those pain. So I hope that helps. And if you enjoyed that video, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next.